Okay, mandolin players, here's your headless video, focusing on the hands. Brown-eyed girl double stops, changing keys with them, right? And again, just noticing this pattern. Let's go over the G pattern again really quickly. Remember, it comes out of this chopped G chord, and it's what's happening on the first strings already, which in this case is the same as your open G chord. Staggered on the strings 1 and 2. So you are frets 2, frets 3. Then remember position 2, move the second string up 1 fret and the first string up 2, so you're 3 and 5. Position 2, slide both these fingers up 2 frets, so 7 and 5. Position 3, and then up to, for position 4, we're going up 1 on the first string frets and 2 frets on the second string, so 8 and 7. Again, looking at the shapes, close together, no frets between them. Backing up, an open fret between them, 7 and 5. Back to 5 and 3, fret between them, no frets between them. So together, apart, apart, back together. 3, 2, 4 positions, okay? That's in the key of G. What I really want you to see here is what is happening with these two fingers. They're close together, and that shape pattern moves up in that same pattern. Let's see what happens if we take these two fingers, move them over 2 strings, or a set of strings. So now you're 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string. That's your open C chord, or if you play closed shapes, that's your closed C shape, okay? But we're just focusing on the strings where these fingers are doing the same thing they were doing here. They're no frets apart. The lower string is fretted 1 fret lower than the higher string. The same pattern applies. Together, or no frets between them, move up 1 fret with the lower string, 2 frets with the higher string, 1 fret between them, slide that whole thing up 2 frets, position 1, and then for your position 4, back together, 1 fret up. We're at 7 and 8 now. Now you have them in C, right? Here's them in G. Watch how it looks exactly the same, just the different strings. Moving these, each a string towards the ceiling. So now we're, instead of being on strings 1 and 2, we're on strings 2 and 3. That's a C. Kind of need to know what you're playing there to know what key you're in. We know this is a C. Now, if I move these two fingers up 2 frets, 4 and 5, that's just like moving the C chord up 2 frets. That's now a D chord. C, C sharp, D. This is no longer an open D chord, because you can't play those strings open. But you're just focusing on these 2 strings, so you have D, no frets between them. Go up to 5 and 7. 1 fret in between, right? Slide that whole thing up 2 frets, 7 and 9. Position 3. Position 4 is going to be back together at 10 and 9. And you just have to know that when you're at 4 and 5, you're at D. So think about that. And the audio should always be your guide. They should always sound right. If I do them wrong, not quite. If I do them right, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 3, position 2, position 1. And remember all the rules that we had before when we did the play-alongs of position 1 is good for 1, 2 is good for a 5 chord, 3 is good for a 1 chord, 4 is good for a 4 chord. Those never change. Those are absolute rules. They always apply when you're using these tools. So we just did them in D. Remember, if we slide this back 2 frets, we're in C. Let's say we wanted to do B. B is just, there's a C chord. Remember, I'm just using this finger to show you that these are the closed chop shapes, which I think is the best way to peg them. Slide back everything 1 fret. There's no sharps and flats between C and B, so now you're in B. A lot of mandolin players don't know what to do when they get to B, and fiddle players, so you've got your brown-eyed girl double stops. Position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 3, position 2, position 1. Okay, so that is the moving back and forth direction. Anytime you see your fingers in this shape, if you know what chord you're playing, you can do those double stops. If they're close together, you go separate them, up the neck, bring them back together. So we have C, we have D, C, C sharp, D. If we want to stay on these strings and go to E, what would we do? Take a second to think of it, see if you can play it before I play it. Mandolin and fiddle basically have these great patterns, almost better than any other instrument. We take D, move it up 1 fret, everything. That's D sharp, 1 more fret, E. We play this shape, we're playing an E chord there. Focusing on the middle strings, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 3, position 2, position 1. So that's one way to look at it, okay, for moving. Let's go back to G for 1 second and look at it one other way, where we stay on the same strings. This you should all know, position 1 in G, strings 1 and 2, position 2, position 3, position 4. Now notice position 4, we're back in that no frets between them position, and that's our 4 chord. What we're actually playing there, position 4 in G, is really position 1 in C. If I put these fingers here, I can make this big chop chord, and that's a C chord in this shape. But just look at those strings. You could make that position 1 and go up from there in the same pattern. Position 1, apart, position 2, slide everything up, position 3, position 4, position 1, 3, position 2, position 1. So let's do that exercise where we go back down to G, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. Let's make position 4 now C. That's position 1 of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, C. Okay? Same way to think. If this is G, this is G. Let's say we want to do something in A. Well, G up 2 frets. And remember, we're just staying on the strings we're playing. G sharp, A. Position 1, no frets between them. Up 1, up 2, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 3, position 2, position 1. That's A, remember, because we're 2 frets up from G. Want to do B flat? Go up 1 fret from A. Now we're at 5 and 6. This would be your B flat chop chord, but we're just worried about we're just playing the first 2 strings. So we're just doing our same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. So play around with that. See how many different keys you can place these double stops in and see what a useful tool they can be.